When I went to get an orange this morning, this is what I was greeted with. So obviously these oranges are on the last legs. It was just this one out of 5, so it's time to eat and use up the other 5. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you how to turn an orange into an oil lamp. Now I have shown the use of an orange as an oil lamp previously on one of my videos, but I've never gone through how to do it. So I thought this would be a good opportunity, and all you need is an orange, a knife, some olive oil and something to light it with. That's all you need. And I'll also cover the safety aspects of it as well, because I was a bit concerned that the whole thing might end up going up in flames. However, I would never leave it as you see this one burning here, where it's totally unprotected should the whole thing catch on fire. I've never had that happen, but just because I've never had it happen doesn't mean it can't happen. That's the introduction. Let's get on with it. Right, how to make your orange oil lamp then. And to be honest, I'm always amazed when I do get this to work, because it's not easy to peel the orange in the way you would like to peel it. But if I just lift this up, as you can see, that's a hemisphere of an orange. So we want to maintain its waterproofness so that the oil doesn't leak out. So we don't want to split it. And the pith which comes up through the orange comes from where the orange is attached to the tree. So if we count that as, say, the North Pole, then the pith is running through to the South Pole. And this hemisphere is North Pole down, if you like. That pip is under there. So that's where the pith goes down from into the orange. So we want to go, pretend this is the equator of the orange. So that's the equator around there, and that's the, let's just call it the North Pole of the orange for demonstration purposes. So I want to get best chance of getting that out without breaking it, I want to cut a line around the equator of the orange. Doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, and I'm going to cut another line around parallel to that, but closer to the South Pole, if you like, the half of the orange I won't be using, just so as I can get out. I'm just trying to maximise my chances of getting this out in one whole piece, so I'm just giving myself some working space. Right, so I've just got rid of one section of skin, and now this is the hemisphere I want to keep, but I want to keep that pith attached to it as well. So what I've got to do is I'll take this hemisphere off first, the one we don't want, just to get it out the way. Okay, so that one's off, that one's no good. That one's no good because that one will end up with a hole in the bottom. And I'm just going to cut this little dimple out here. Oh no, we'll leave that for now. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to work round with my thumb to try and get this hemisphere I want off without splitting it. So now I've worked down to where the pith's joined on. So what you can do if you want is you can cut a good bit of the orange off, and that pith, there's the pith there that I want to save. So now if I pull that orange out, hopefully, it doesn't always work. There we go. So it's come out with the pith attached. So we've got the pith attached. So there we go. I've just done 2 oranges and I've had 2 successes. I mean, it probably depends on the type of oranges you get. So you can eat your oranges. Then what you do is you take your vegetable oil, and this is cheap vegetable oil, and you don't have to wait for it to dry or anything, which is, it surprised me. People wait for it to dry out a bit. You don't have to do that. Just fill it up, say 3/4 full, but drizzle some oil over what is now your wick, the pith that came up through the middle. And it'll take a little bit to get it alight first go, because obviously there's a lot of moisture in there. So to get it lit straight off, let's get some of this juice off my hands. So it's going to take a little bit with the lighter to get it going and to get it, I don't know whether you can see, this one's carbonised, so this one will start relatively easily now. But initially, it takes a bit to get it going. Especially if your lighter's not that clever. No, my lighter's not doing as well as I would like. Oh, it's a light, it's a light. It is a light. Right, just be careful you don't burn the house down. It's getting a bit messy here. I have got bottles of water and I have got a fire extinguisher here. So there we go, it's a light now. And when it gets established, it'll burn with a little bit better flame than that. I'll put a bit more in. And these will burn for several hours. I can't remember now, but I put one on the hearth in a, don't leave it burning like this. This one I've got in a tin. I've got it in a tin. I thought I could use this bottom tin for the other one, but it's got something in it. So I've never had an incident with them, but that's not to say it can't happen. That's not to say, you know, it couldn't burn all the oil and the whole lot catch on fire when the flame got down to the bottom. I've never had that happen, but I'm not saying it can't happen. So just be careful. So that's your orange oil lamp then, and it works, and I've demonstrated in action in previous videos, camping in the back garden and such. But once you know the principle is just basically a wick sucking up oil. So you don't need an orange. A little glass jar will do it. Just punch a hole in the top of the glass jar, top of the metal top for the jar. Now, I better be careful here, otherwise we are going to have an incident, aren't we? That's better. That's better. So, any container then. So we've got a little glass jar here, we've got the lid. I'm just going to punch a hole in the lid. Open it up a bit. Get the paper bit out. Then I'm just going to make a wick out of kitchen roll. Preferably dry kitchen roll, but I need it to tear in the right direction because it won't tear the other way. And then just roll up your kitchen roll to make a wick. So that'll do for a wick. Put oil in your bottle. Vegetable oil, sunflower, oilseed rape, olive oil, whatever you've got. Put the wick in there. Okay. Just get the wick wet a little bit, otherwise it will just all burn away. This is a tricky bit here. There we go. Now the wick will only be able to draw so much fuel, so it might burn down a bit shorter. But there you go, that's all there is to an oil lamp. All there is to an oil lamp is a container, a wick and some oil. And as you can see from these examples here, the oil won't, the surface of the oil won't catch a light. It won't get hot enough to catch a light. So they are fairly safe in that regard. It's not like you've got some highly volatile substance in there, like for example petrol or methylated spirits. You couldn't do it with a substance like that. Highly dangerous. And these are going to give off a bit of smoke as well, so eventually over years my walls would go from white to a yellow, I would think. But as an emergency, and you've got to think of the fire hazard, big fire hazard. But as an emergency light source when you're out camping, and if you can shield them as well with something from the wind, because they're going to be affected by wind. I will get back to the colloidal silver presently, but things just keep cropping up. I'm just in the process, it's not finished yet, of making a sheath for this before I demonstrate its effectiveness. This is just a rough glued wood. I've got to carve it down yet and shape it up and make some adjustments to it and get some glue off it and stuff. But once I've made the thing safe for carrying around, then I'll get back to its demonstrated purpose. But life is so exciting, you just cannot fit it all in. Anyway, right, I'm waffling on now. So that's it, oil lamps in a nutshell. So that's it then, that's oil lamps in an orange. And I'll catch you on the next one. So stay safe, try and stay healthy, and try and have a happy new year. Eat plenty of oranges. Right, I'm going to switch the lights out. I know they won't seem massively effective to all the lights I've got round here at the moment, and it might take a moment or two for the camera to adjust to the new light settings. It'll certainly take my eyes a few moments. I'll switch the lights off.